So the World Wide Web that you use every day is actually split into three sections. The first section is the surface web, which is the part of the World Wide Web that can be accessed by the general public using search engines like Google, Bing, and Yahoo. This is the part of the web that you use in your everyday life. What's interesting is that the surface web only makes up approximately 5% of the World Wide Web. So what makes up the rest of the World Wide Web? Well, that would be the deep web. The deep web refers to the part of the internet that cannot be searched by search engines like Google. The web pages on the deep web are referred to as unindexed because, as I said before, they can't be accessed by typical search engines. Now, the deep web accounts for 95% of the web. But the thing is, most of the deep web is completely safe and legal. In fact, you've probably used the deep web. Some of the websites on the deep web include fee-for-service sites that are hidden behind a paywall, an example being Netflix, social media accounts and email inboxes which require a password to access are other examples of websites on the deep web. The deep web also contains private databases and intranets, which are networks of organizations that aren't accessible to the general public. So that leaves the last section of the World Wide Web, which is the dark web. So what's the dark web? The dark web is a small subsection of the deep web that can only be accessed using a specialized browser. That specialized browser is known as Tor browser, which hides your IP address when browsing. And I know the dark web is associated with illegal activity, but browsing the dark web is actually completely legal. But it's illegal to do anything illegal on the dark web. And unfortunately, due to the anonymity, a lot of illegal activities do in fact take place on the dark web. So what exactly do people do on the dark web? So firstly, despite its reputation, the dark web is used for legitimately legal reasons by many people. In fact, Tor browser is funded by the United States government. Some examples of legit uses include privacy protection. Certain individuals, such as whistleblowers, may only feel comfortable talking to journalists under some level of anonymity, which the dark web provides. In some countries where there is heavy censorship, citizens may use the dark web to access uncensored information and evade government surveillance. Now, despite there also being other legal uses on the dark web, there are also many illegal uses which are due to its anonymous nature. The dark web contains many marketplaces selling illegal drugs, weapons, counterfeit money, stolen PayPal accounts, stolen credit cards, phones, fake IDs, pretty much anything you can think of, to be honest. Now, buying legal items is legal on the dark web, but if you buy anything that is illegal, you could be incriminated. Also, a lot of these marketplaces are scams, so I just wouldn't recommend ever buying anything off these websites. Another thing is that a lot of the items sold on these marketplaces, such as the stolen PayPal accounts and the phones that are a lot cheaper than retail, the seller gets these items by either stealing them or through credit card fraud. And one thing you need to be wary of is to be in possession of anything that's stolen is illegal, and you could therefore be very much incriminated for being in possession of any stolen items. So buying from these websites comes with many possible risks, which is why I would never ever recommend even buying anything from these websites. But just to show how popular these marketplaces are, more than a decade ago, there was a marketplace on the dark web known as Silk Road. Silk Road was a very popular marketplace that sold illegal items, primarily illegal drugs. The marketplace was active between February 2011 and October 2013, and the site facilitated sales amounting to 9,519,664 bitcoins. In dollars, that's a mere $1.9 billion. The dark web also contains anonymous chat rooms, which aren't even illegal, but the people on these sites love to talk about illegal activities, so I'd probably refrain from them. There are red rooms where people pay to watch live streams of people being tortured and murdered in real time. Now, apparently most of these red rooms are completely staged. but to be honest, I wouldn't know. Now, I've talked about the dark web, and I've said that it's legal to browse the dark web, which it is. However, there is unfortunately a very, very, very dark side to the dark web. There is a fairly high chance that if you browse deep enough, you will come across something that you wish you hadn't seen. That thing being CP, which isn't Club Penguin or Crystal Palace or anything else with the acronym CP. I'm not going to tell you what it is, but unfortunately that stuff is on the dark web. And if you browse deep into the dark web, you may very well end up coming across it. And even though browsing the dark web is legal, viewing CP is illegal even if it was an accident. And therefore you could be incriminated for it if caught. And when you're going through links on the dark web and you're browsing deep enough and you have no idea what's on the other side, you may end up clicking a link which opens up a website displaying CP. This is why I honestly don't recommend you to browse on the dark web. You're better off just going on YouTube, because there are a lot of videos on the dark web that prevents you from potentially getting arrested and seeing something that may end up traumatizing you for the rest of your life. So that's the dark web. There isn't really much to it. It's legal to browse. It's mainly filled with marketplaces selling illegal items, but there is also a very dark side to it.